Hi Taurus. So, turns out there was a little bit of a technical issue with the previous video, so we're going to redo a redo. So, for the second time, welcome to your October reading. Now, I'm going to be using two different decks today. I'm going to be using the Cosmic Cycles Tarot and also the Tarot of the Divine, which are my two newest decks, and also probably my two favourites. Don't tell the others. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at what's coming up for you in this month. Now, it's quite an exciting month because actually tonight it's a full moon in Aries. So full of good energy for getting stuff done, setting intentions, clearing out dead wood. And towards the end of the month on Halloween, we've got a second full moon, which is actually a blue moon. And that one is in Taurus. So it's a really good, if you don't mind, for Taurus, good chance to get through to using that grounding energy to really clear out. And again, just get rid of what we don't want. Be really clear about what it is that we want to bring in to our lives for the next full moon cycle, really. So after we've done that, what we're also going to do, once you've had a look at what's going on for you, we're going to have a look at the other star signs and how they are feeling towards you. So let's see what's coming up for Taurus for the month of October in your October tarot reading. So what is going on for Taurus? Okay. So first off, you've got a King of Pentacles in reverse. Now, okay. So we've got a King of Pentacles in reverse. So for me, this is an indicator that coming into October, Taurus, I feel like for the male Taurians, I feel like you are going to have a little bit of a moment where you have to look at something from a different perspective. And I feel like there's going to be a situation that crops up where you kind of have to turn yourself around. You have to figure out another way of looking at something to make something work. The situation is going to be a little bit unresolved. And it could, listen, it doesn't have to be a love relationship. This could be to do with anybody. It could be to do with something not coming up trumps at work. It could be something that doesn't go quite your way. My advice though with that is it's not a case of, it's not like everything's all gone to pot, everything's fallen apart. But actually what it is it's just you have to find a new way of looking at things. Now, you will be able to do that because you've got a Six of Pentacles. So my advice is that with when this situation crops up, the situation here is this is, a group of people who are sharing. Like, the busker is singing or he's playing guitar. No, he's singing. She's playing the guitar. The person who's walking by is dropping some money in. Like, it's an exchange of opinions, of values, of yourself, really. Like when you're performing, you're singing, you're sharing a part of you. And there's going to be people around you, I think, who will be able to help you through this situation that crops up. If this is for the female Taurians, I feel like this is actually that there's probably another earth sign around you who is going through this, and they need support going through it. Now, you've also got the moon, so there is something I want you to look out for, which is like, just adore this moon card. This is such a separation anxiety moment for me, like sneaking off in the dead of night. It's all very like teenage romance. I adore it. Kind of like you see in like Buffy or something like that, where they're in and out of windows with vampires. Totally got sidetracked then. However, so I think you're going to get a little moment. Now, this is either going to be someone's almost creeping back in and checking up on you, a little bit of pining for something that isn't in the daylight, that isn't something like, it's like when your mind wanders at night, and it's, like it is kind of coming to me, it's not like on the cheating curve. So where does your mind go when you're not distracted by putting on an appearance is what I want you to watch out for, because you've also got a tower in reverse. Now, that tower is I mean, in this way up, I adore it because, the tower moment is always good, right? The tower moment in reverse is very rarely good. This is very much like refusing to accept the change. And change has come for all of us. So, like, there is some pluses and there is some minuses. There's no other way to say it. Okay, so we're going to use the Tarot of the Divine to get some clarifiers on this. Now, this could be, it might give us an idea of how you play this out. Well, that one didn't wait about coming out at all. Okay. So clarifying your King of Pentacles, you've got an Eight of Wands. So definitely, like, if this, like I say, if this is finding a different perspective on things, finding a different way to work the situation. You've got to be quick off the bat, I think, if this is your situation that's coming through. And because the longer you dawdle around with things not quite working, the worse things become, because you don't then have that moment of going, you know, like you can't sit on your laurels when things like that, when things are going wrong, when situations need you to adapt, to adjust quickly. You have to do it with speed, and not in like a Knight of Wands way of just guns blazing, not even worrying about it whatsoever. But you definitely need to not sit around on your laurels. Now, with regards to this Six of Pentacles and being able to accept help from other people, being able to see other people's opinions, supporting each other through things, you've got the Magician, who, if you don't mind, I love, is the fairy godmother from Cinderella. I'm such a panto person. I love a little fairy tale, hence why I love this deck. But this for me is a case of, you know, there are people around you who can help, but you have to kind of seek those people out, or vice versa. If someone else that you're dealing with is feeling like that, again, it's down to you to show them and to be honest with them and say, look, you know what, I can help you out with this. I can do what you need to do. I can pick up this slack. You know, like the fairy godmother, she makes something out of nothing. Pumpkins into coaches. Homes are made of gingerbread. Now, with regards to the moon, so how I was saying, like, you know, I think something's coming back in, like watch where your mind wanders to. That's been clarified with the Page of Wands in reverse. Now, this could be that this is to do with the fire sign that has pulled back from you and is maybe creeping back in a little bit to see what's going on. Could also be that you are kind of pining for a fire sign that is not in the mix right now. And in fact, I'm going to get another one for that. Because if you're pining for a fire sign, the Tower in reverse again. Listen, if this is for you and you are pining for a fire sign, my advice is you've got to let that go now. That's 2 towers in reverse you've had for the Tauros. Let's go Taurus. I mean, genuinely, like that's a little bit of a reality check. Burn. Because if you're hanging on to someone and you're revisiting those memories, you're revisiting what happened and just pining, and like I say, it's almost like, you know, if you're dreaming about people, if they pop through, and, you know, is it because you're going to sleep thinking about them, or is it because they're also creeping on you and they're also checking you out? But the trouble is they also don't want to change. So that's where the toughness comes in. Now, with regards to your initial tower in reverse, it can't be the 10 of coins. So again, I think this is a case of, you know, something that hasn't worked out. Like, it was very, very heavily focused on the end game. And again, and I'm going to go back to this for those of you that are dealing with a fire sign. This is what your end game was. This is what you were aiming for, and unfortunately, it didn't come up for you. But if you let go and you go with the change and you don't resist it, you get to that. So this can go either way. You see, you can either let go and you then find your 10 of coins, you find your happy ever after, or it's like, listen, this is what I was hoping for, and this is what I should be getting, but look, I'm dealing with it in a way that isn't consistent with what we need for growth to help. So I hope that helps. Now, if you would like to book a private reading, you can drop me an email at mustbeageminitarot@gmail.com with full stops in between each word. So must.be.a.gemini.tarot@gmail.com, or you can grab me on Instagram. It is mustbeageminitarot, again with the full stops in between. I'll put it in the description box below anyway, so you'll be able to click those links to see what's going on. Now, let's have a little look at what is going on for the various, as in what the other star signs are feeling for you, because I think it's a nice way to kind of get a gist of it without having to cross-watch, although I do thoroughly recommend cross-watching. For me, I find it really helpful when I'm thinking about how other people are behaving, because I think it gives you a good impression. Okay, so if you are dealing with an Aries, they have got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Now, that for me, again, listen, Aries, I've got a really good friend who's an Aries, so I say this with all the best intentions in the world. They're very headstrong, very stubborn. Now, if you try and push an Aries, what's going to happen? They will back right up. Now that's what that Knight of Pentacles in reverse is for me. It's a case of someone who is like, you know what, they will take the steps they need. This way around, I adore him. He's like Troy Bolton. I mean, it actually is based on Troy Bolton. I read it in the book. One of the few decks which I actually really enjoyed reading the book, the guide book, the Cosmic Cycles, fantastic deck. Definitely look it up on Instagram. But for me, with that being in reverse, it's a case of, listen, you know what, you are pushing me, and I'm backing away because I can. You think I can take all these slow steps forward? You want to see how slow I can go when I'm in reverse, when I'm in retreat. So that for me is what the Aries in your lives are feeling. The Taurus, on the other hand, so if you're dealing with another Taurus, they've got an Ace of Wands. Now this has come out in quite a few readings for October, so I'm enjoying that because that for me is a case of you know, your other Taurus that you're dealing with is really just waiting for you to say what you want and for you to be honest. Now, again, if you were the King of Pentacles in the reverse and you feel that things are coming up, you know what, they're ready, they're sitting waiting. But it is kind of down to you to be clear with them, to be clear about what it is that you are expecting to be on that canvas, because the basics are there. Like I say, that, you know, that is very much like the background is done, but they need to know what to put in the foreground to make the painting what it is. Because listen, we all love a background. Let's have a look at portrait mode. The focal point is what we want to see. We don't want to see the background. That's not as important. What goes on top is important. Now, for Geminis, be warned if you're dealing with a Gemini, because they have got the strength. And this guy, look at him. He's been through some hardship with a P. You know, he's had his setbacks and he is raring to go. He is back in the game, getting himself sorted. So if you're dealing with Gemini, I would say just listen, tread a bit carefully, because they are not going to put up with any nonsense. Yes, come on, Gems. Cancer, on the other hand, have got a Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So I feel like if you've got a Cancer in the mix somewhere, they might be feeling a little bit of a struggle this month, in that things are not going their way. Things are kind of not playing out for them how they really wanted it to. And they can't really see what's going on, and that for me is a little bit of a sad one, because if they, like, Cancers are very high in the feels charts, like they are, you know, they're real deep feelers, and when things are not going their way, it's a real lonely moment. And I just adore this card in the upright because it's that Ferris wheel moment. She's got her 2 tickets. She doesn't know who she's taking. She's having a lovely time on her own. So Cancer's not feeling it for this month, for October. If you've got a Leo in the mix, the Leo's got the Hermit. Okay. So your Leos are going to be taking a little bit of time out, and you know what? It's really easy to think that is against you, but they're doing what they need to do for themselves. And listen, we've got to support them through that. If your Leo needs a bit of time, let them have it, because time is really, really important. And particularly again with Leos, is that fire energy, it's that headstrong. I've got a Leo rising. I know exactly what it's like. If they need some time out, let them have their time out and let them come back to you. Virgo, on the other hand, this is interesting. So where you had the King of Pentacles come up, the Virgo's come up with the Queen of Pentacles. And that's interesting for me because a lot of Virgo readings have been a bit tricky recently, but this is like, you know what, your Virgo's actually doing all right, but they're getting in touch with their feminine side. Now, if that's a man that you're dealing with who's finally getting in touch with his feminine side and getting in touch with his feelings, oh, hang on, the lighting's playing up today, sorry. Do you know what, Taurus are not meant to get a message this month. There's definitely some issues going on. Anyway, your Virgo is feeling very much the Queen of Pentacles, but this one, like, normally I find her quite forlorn, as I always say, but she's not. She's a boss. She's sat at her desk. She's still kind of looking out the door. She's still waiting for someone to come in. But she's got her own money for lunch. She doesn't need you to pay for the lunch. She just wants the company. And that's where your Virgo's coming at. Now, Libras on the other hand. Taurus, if you've got a Libra in your mix somewhere, because they are 5 of Cups. And that is just... like, I know the 5 of Cups is a disappointment, but like particularly in this deck, I don't know if you can see that too well, but it's like the ghost of a memory. It's like sitting in front of those pictures, really remembering all the good times, really focusing on that, and it's kind of a haunting. It's like your Libra can't stop thinking about other things that's going on, and it's, like, this is the boy from the Chariot, I forget which page he is from the deck, because this deck is all based around 8 central characters, the pages and the knights of each suit, and it takes them through the decks. Absolutely, I'm just in love with it. And I know I feel like I say that about a lot of decks, but I really am. Like, I've waited for this for such a long time. It's so worth the wait. But for the Libras, I think your Libras are going through a really tough time where they're being really haunted by their old memories, and that's tough, because that's one of those things where you can't help people through that. They have to go through it and feel it themselves. Where do we get to? Libra. Scorpio. Sorry, it's been a day. Scorpio got Temperance in reverse. So if you're dealing with a Scorpio, again, it's the water signs. They're feeling a little bit out of balance, a little bit out of sync, out of sorts, and I feel like they're struggling, because this, like I said, this is never remember I haven't done yoga in such a long time. I forget what pose that is, but in my head, when you go into that pose, is that moment where you tilt your head up and it kind of changes your reality and your focus, and you have to, you're not concentrating on the floor, so you have to really be aware of where your center is, where your body is, everything. In the reverse, though, I feel like the Scorpios are just having that moment of going, I feel like things are getting on top of me. I feel like that's what the Scorpios want you to know, is that things are getting on top of them right now, and the way they may be behaving towards you is nothing to do with you. It's just things are getting a bit on top of them. And you know what? Taurus are really good at helping, in my opinion, the Taurians that I know. If you've got a Scorpio around, and this doesn't have to be, like I say, someone you're in a relationship with, this could be someone that is just around you, that is a Scorpio that needs a little bit of help. Ooh, if you are dealing with a Sagittarius, you want to know what they've got on their mind? Oh God, I don't know. That was like Star Wars? No, I don't know what that theme tune was, but it definitely wasn't the wedding march. But that's what the Sagittarius has got on the mind. If you are dealing with a Sagittarius right now, Tauros, they are thinking of wedding bells. They are thinking of their happily ever after. Now listen, I'm not saying they're marching you down the aisle next week, but that is what is on their mind. So if you, like I was saying, where you have that Six of Pentacles, listen, the honesty might be coming out. If you're dealing with a Sagittarius, you might need to be really honest with them, with that Six of Pentacles, with that sharing of truths, because if that's where they're headed and you don't see yourself headed there, that's a conversation to have. If you do see yourself heading there, that is also a conversation to have. Capricorns. You'd never guess I do this all the time. Now Capricorns, if you're dealing with Capricorn, they've got a 9 of Wands, so they've still got a little bit of struggle ahead of them. And that, like, it's one of those things, they've got the ability to do it, but there's a little bit of hesitation. Like, he's on his skateboard, he's got his torch, he knows exactly where he's going. He just needs a clear path all the way through. But there's also a danger with the skateboard that the wheel will snag, that something will happen, and it will all kind of be undone. So again, I want you to be patient and offer help to this Capricorn. If they're having struggles, they don't want to, like, this is the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is pretty cocky, I always think, but something's stumping him. During the day this wouldn't bother him, but at night he's like, oh God, I don't know if my perception's quite as good as it should be. I'm a little bit hesitant to go down this road, and I think that's where your Capricorns are coming from. Aquarius, on the other hand, now listen, this is where that Tower in reverse moment came in. If you are with an Aquarius, if you're dealing with an Aquarius right now, they've got the 8 of Cups, and that for me, oh my God, I've got to stop saying I adore cards, but that for me is so heartbreaking, because if there was ever an 8 of Cups that signified leaving a situation, it's this one. It's leaving things behind that are just not right, and having to go out and step away. And you know what, like with this particularly, it's a family situation, so I always feel like there will be coming back, but it will be coming back in a different way. What they're leaving behind is the person they are right now, and the person they come back as, if they come back, will not be the same person. And it's a moment of, if you're dealing with an Aquarius particularly, if they want to go, you cannot keep them. You have to let them go and do their development, do their growth, do what it is that they need to do in order to possibly come back. But my feeling is they aren't coming back in October. Pisces, on the other hand, if you've got a Pisces in the mix, you're doing all right, because they got the 4 of Pentacles, and it's the one deck where I really love the 4 of Pentacles, because this guy is saving up You know, he's squirreling a little bit away because he's got his car up on the wall. He knows what his focus is. He knows what he wants. And he knows how to get it. He knows he's just got to bide his time. He's got to be really patient, but keep doing the work, keep saving up. So if you've got Pisces, again, listen, it's not the end goal like the Sagittarius is thinking, but it is still a building for a better future. It's preparation. It's, you know, putting things in place, putting things in motion for what you need. Anyway, Taurus, I hope that helps. I'm sorry again about the glitch with the sound on the previous video. I don't know whether I might take it down and just start this again, in which case there was no point me mentioning the previous one, but you know what? It's fun. Now, as I said, if you would like to book a private reading, it is must.b.a.gemini.tarot@gmail.com, or on Instagram you can get me at must.b.a.gemini.tarot, and you can follow me there. Now, I do free Q&As on Instagram, and I'm also going to start doing Q&As on here as well, so don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to tick that little bell so that you get the notifications when I'm going live, so you can join in the free Q&As. Take care, I'll see you very soon.